Welcome to Oakwood Cemetery, a historic resting place in Austin. Many people believe that underneath this calm facade, restless spirits lurk. One of the notable people buried here is Athol Porter, the wife of the famed author O. Henry. A fascinating figure in her own right, Athol was a beloved wife and quite possibly a practitioner of spiritualism, an incredibly popular movement that swept through America in the 19th century. Spiritualism was popular during Athol's era, primarily because it promised communication with the deceased loved ones at the time, when many people had recently lost family members to the Civil War. Here at the O. Henry family home, museum site coordinator Emily O'Connor sheds light on how they lived during the years leading up to Athol's untimely passing.
Hi, welcome to the O. Henry Museum. Come on in. Athol Estes Porter was born in Tennessee, and her family moved to Texas when she was quite young. She was a student at Austin High School, a senior when she met Will and fell in love with him. She was sick for most of her life with tuberculosis, and eventually she did succumb to tuberculosis on July 25th of 1897. This really shattered her family and her social circle, particularly her husband, William Sidney Porter. At that time, many consoled the grieving with the notion that Athol's spirit could be communicated with thanks to spiritualism. Spiritualism emerged in the 1840s in Hydesville, New York. Two sisters, Maggie and Kate Fox, claimed to be able to communicate with spirits. This movement resonated with a society eager for connection beyond the grave, especially as the Civil War was beginning and people were losing a lot of loved ones at that time. The 19th century was a time of great change, and many turned to spiritualism for comfort. It challenged traditional religious authority and provided a platform for women to speak publicly, which was a revolutionary concept at that time.
As families lost loved ones during the Civil War, the number of spiritualists soared. They sought closure through seances, yearning for one last message from those who had passed.
So here we have a pendulum board. This would have been a very common tool that was used in spiritualism. And the purpose of this board was to communicate with those who have passed away. And the way that you use it is you take a pendulum, which I have one right here, and the idea is this pendulum will point to the letters that comprise the message that the person who has passed on is trying to convey. So to start, you would hold the pendulum in the middle of the board, and you'd think of a question, and then you'll see the pendulum starts to swing. And it looks like the pendulum is swinging
T?
Toward the letter T, right. So we'll take the pendulum, touch it to the letter T, and then we'll ask, is that the letter that's trying to be conveyed? Is T the correct letter? And then you'll return the pendulum to the middle of the board. It will start to swing. It looks like it's swinging toward yes. So, T.
As we continued seeking answers from the beyond, the word trot was spelled out through the seance board. Although the message was unclear, what happened next was truly hair-raising.
Were you trying to spell the word trot? Crazy. Yeah, we have Athol's saddle.
Athol's saddle's here?
Are you happy that I brought back the hitching weight from storage? Because I did do that.
Yes.
Wow. We'll never know for sure, but Athol Porter's death may have inspired O. Henry to seek comfort in spiritualism, just as countless others did when they lost loved ones. Some stories even suggest that their daughter Margaret felt her presence and claimed that Athol visited her at night.
But, as with all movements, spiritualism was not without its critics. Magicians like Harry Houdini dedicated their lives to exposing frauds, insisting that true communication from the dead remained unproven. Though spiritualism waned in popularity, the legacy of figures like Athol Porter and her husband remains a haunting reminder of our quest for connection beyond the veil of death. Here at Oakwood Cemetery, we can only wonder if the spirits still linger, whispering their stories to any willing to listen.